I like to make sure that I meet them where they are, help them with what they need, and it needs to be pleasant. I want our firm to make sure that we give the best customer service possible. Now that said, that does in no way means that the result is not going to be the best we can possibly get, because that's our focus, that's our goal, is to make sure you're fully compensated. And that means that we're going to guide you through the process. We're going to make sure that if you say, I don't have health insurance, what do? We're going to say, well, we can help, because there are doctors that'll treat on liens, there are doctors and there's MRI centers that'll do it on a lien.
And let's explain what that means. And what he's basically saying, they'll do it on a lien, meaning that the doctor will provide you care and you won't have to pay. The doctor will then say, okay, please pay me when you have your settlement. Okay, so Richard, you have those relationships to make sure that your client is getting the attention that they need and not letting the medical coverage or the lack of current funds stop them from getting that medical attention.
And that can be a huge factor, because your case, if you have the need of a surgery, for example, and you need to have it, if you don't have it and you should have had it, then your recovery is going to be far less.
Let's talk about this for a minute, because there are a lot of situations where you have a catastrophic injury, and let's just say you needed $100,000 worth of medical attention,
right,
but maybe the policy limits were only $50,000 that didn't cover it. Are there times that you're able to negotiate the amount of the medical bill so that your client actually gets money? Has that ever happened?
Yes. There's two different ways that's happened.
Okay.
First of all, through funding companies, if you have a good personal injury attorney, there are times where these same relationships, you can go to a surgeon after I get a recovery for a workers' comp client, or after I get a recovery for someone who's seriously injured in a truck accident. They have a lot of money in their hands, and they can go to a surgeon and to the hospital and negotiate themselves a discounted rate by having cash in hand.
Okay.
That's one way. Another way is on the backside of the case, when the case settles. If I've found, it's sad when this happens, but a lot of times people's cases are worth a lot more than the available insurance.
Okay.
Let's say I've looked and I said, well, what insurance did the negligent driver have? What insurance did the owner of the vehicle have? What insurance did any employer might have that would be liability coverage that would cover it? Are there any umbrella policies? Are there any uninsured motorist policies? When I look under every rock to find as much insurance as I can and stack them all and recover everything I possibly can for the client who's catastrophically injured, that may still not be enough to cover all the medical expenses. And in that case, my job is to try my best to help in that situation as well. And there was a case where there was $400,000 bill with a hospital for a fractured pelvis, and there was a $25,000 recovery. Well,
that was the limit of the policy.
That was all there was. It was a stolen vehicle. It was a UN policy.
Wow.
So it's one of those very, very, very sad things. But I try my best to make the best out of every situation.
So what happened with the $400,000?
Well, I was able to make sure that my client didn't have to go bankrupt. The hospital agreed to take $18,000.
From $400,000.
Right. So that saved their credit. They got to wipe clean $400,000. And we made the best out of a situation. If there had been great insurance, we'd have gotten a phenomenal recovery.
Most attorneys wouldn't have done it. Most attorneys would have walked. Most attorneys would have said, there's not enough here. There's no meat on this chicken bone. Okay? And they would have put the bone down. You're a good man.
Well, we try to help as much as we can. And sometimes what we can do is limited by the policy limits. But we're still in there. We're still there fighting for our client.